You put the egg in the basket, and the old egg in the box, and the box in the ocean.
Simple.
And if you tell anyone about me, anyone at all, you'll have to deal with her.
No, not her. Please don't make me look at her again. No, no. I won't tell. I won't tell anyone. I promise. No, please.
This is my blues, and 'cause I'm back down on my own again. This is the blues I'm playing. Yes, it's a fine old thing. When the night is cold and lonely,
This is a dollar bill beat.
Was it the money that made me a savage? Popping them prices, I made it a habit. Towing them pictures and serving them addicts. That was exciting to me. I'm so excited to be. Started with nothing, we had to inspire the beat. Niggas, they fly to me. I'm getting to it, feel like the man. I got the plan. I call the shooters, they out with the van. Play with the squad, get pop like a sand. Pop like a perk, I'm going ham. I'm going crazy on niggas, too wavy for niggas. Do magic like I look a sand. I'm in the kitchen, compressing the bird. Take out the 9 and I sell it for 30. The straight to the jeweler, I'm busting the rollie. The light of the city like me, GO3. I got the plug, he sending my tea. Don't know these niggas know me. Even though niggas, they call me OG. Young nigga, but I put it down. We was on it when it wasn't round. All of a sudden, niggas wanna come around. Stay over there, my J. Do me one favor. Take a few steps
'cause
back
I'm back down on my own again.
and look at yourself. Matter of fact, take yourself outside your body and then look at yourself and see how you playing yourself, nigga.
This is the blues I'm playing.
Congratulations. It's the motherfucking chase.
Yes, it's a fine
feel
old
me?
thing. When the
We on
night is
it.
cold and lonely.
Gave you the plug. Try to be real with some niggas and put on my money and show some love. You did me a favor, I knew you was shy, I knew you would show you was. It's only a matter of time for niggas get lined and hit with them slugs. Get found in the pool of your blood. Yeah, nigga. Remember they told me that we'll fail. Remember they said it with CSL. That what that to me like Cam Newton. I'm in the field like the NFL. Niggas is sick and I wish them well. I made a wish and a wishing well. I put a brick in a wishing well. Been through some shit and I'm sick of jail. No disease, but I'm sick of cells. Sick of tired of sending niggas mail. Calling niggas just to get a bell. I just seen a nigga get an L. Never coming home, minute on the phone. Sick of tired of seeing niggas fail. Sick of tired of seeing niggas lose. Sending like we trying to get to hell.
And 'cause I'm back down on my own again. This is the blues I'm playing. Yes, it's a fine old thing. When the night is cold and lonely. This is the midnight blues.
Okay, but please hurry. I'll try to remember when I created the universe. Or when I destroyed it.
Okay, so I recently invaded the planet, I guess you would say in this case, the mind of Psychonauts 2, made by Double Fine, who also made Brutal Legend and Costume Quest 1 and 2. They also made the first Psychonauts, which came out a whopping 16 years ago, which is also, if you didn't know, their first title that they ever made. So yeah, this is like their fucking poster child, their little baby that they're releasing periodically throughout the years. They released another one on the iOS a couple of years after the first one. They released another one in 2017, and now we're here with Psychonauts 2. The game actually released on August 27th this year, 2021, for those listening in the later years. And it released on all platforms. I actually got my copy on the Game Pass because it was fucking free. Shout out to the Game Pass. Shout out Microsoft. And the game is actually $60 everywhere else. So if you don't got the Game Pass, you're like, yeah, fuck you, nigga. We get everything for fucking free. Well, I do because I'm on PC. So yeah, shout out to me and Microsoft. I guess shout out to both of us. First thing I want to talk about the game is actually the length. How long are you going to actually be playing Psychonauts 2? It's a fairly short game. If you just run through the story, the playtime will be about 10 hours long. So it's not that long, actually. However, playtime can be extended by around 3 hours, maybe 4 if you're fucking slow in a granny, or maybe 5 if you're super slow in a granny. If you go back through the story and get all the collectibles. So you can go back to the mines after you get all your upgrades and get all the little collectibles and stuff. But who the fuck does that shit if you already beat the game? Currently, the fastest pace that somebody has beaten the game is 1 hour and 38 minutes, so around 1 hour 40, sub 140, which is fucking crazy. But these are by speedrunners, so it's fairly, you know how speedrunners do they shit. But yeah, the game is fairly short. Playing through the game, my first time, I did notice how fast-paced the game actually was in terms of story. You're kind of thrown into the game with a rather brilliant intro scene, I might add. It's very good. But, fuck all of what's happening when you meet all the head fucking psychos or whatever the fuck they're called and become your junior psychiatrist yourself. So, yeah, after you become like a baby therapist, the game kind of like just kicks into high gear. And the main meat of the game is you go into 3 different parts of the map and piecing together a lost story in the mind of one guy. So the game kind of can seem a little bit shorter than what it even actually is. The game actually feels like it's fucking 6 or 8 hours long because of the section after the main story. Or not the main story, the intro scene, I should say. Now, let's get into the graphics, the potatoes part of the meat and potatoes of the game. The game actually has a very nice color palette with a sort of grayish overtone to the game. It's like a weird gray filter over the game, and I usually hate the gray filters, but the game didn't do too bad with its little filter or whatever. But in Call of Duty Ghost, I hated that shit. All I remember from Ghost is all the maps being fucking gray and dull and boring and ugly. But search and rescue was really fun. So, actually, one thing about the graphics I will say is that the character models are meh. Like, they're kind of all these niggas is butt ugly, bro. Like, in other words, that's what meh mean. Like, you fucking ugly. All these niggas is ugly. But the textures, the textures themselves are nice. The effects on your psi abilities are beautiful. The way your levitation ball rolls and changes color as it's rolling, or how your pyrokinesis, the flame, the particle effects on your fire, all of that shit is nice. The brainwave shit and the clairvoyance, all of that, all the effects on the side abilities are phenomenal. The mobs are also well designed in the game, but nothing, and I mean nothing, in this game looks better than the fucking scenery and the set pieces. This game has some unique fucking worlds and side areas to explore, each one with a different theme and everything tying together with you being in someone's mind, meaning certain things will change depending on whose brain you are in. So you'll get like a different perspective on the same people, which is a nice little change of pace compared to, how other games do things. So just off the top of my head, my favorites were the casino mission, the brain where you get to go on the beach and do some wedding shit and find seeds and bullshit. And then my personal favorite, when you get to go to fucking Rolling Loud. Yeah, you get to go to a concert, and that shit's pretty fucking lit. You get to get the band back together and shit, and you go on a concert. The game is pretty unique. The set pieces are really different, and I like the vibe that, each different brain gives off, because, like I said before, you'll go into a brain and talk to somebody's cognition of let's just say Raz, and they may look at Raz as a fucking like weirdo, but then you go to somebody else's brain, and their cognition of Raz is he's a fucking superhero. So everybody has a different viewpoint on everything, and a different perspective on the world. So it's nice to get into these different set pieces and see exactly the different minds that the devs created for the game. Okay, so now let's move into gameplay. And this is actually my first issue of the game. This is actually, this can't be fucking good. So the worst thing that could go wrong with a game, in my opinion, is the gameplay. So if you can't create an engaging like combat or exploration loop, then you're not gonna grasp the audience, even if your story is fucking legit. Okay, so let's start with the trash and the filth. These motherfucking niggas made combat way too fucking easy, bro. Like, you feel like you're playing a children's game most times when enemies show up. Like, honestly, it's kind of like weird. Most times, threats can actually be avoided by just walking past them. This led me to literally start falling asleep as I was playing the game. So, basically, you just mash the X button, punch people, and then they die. You mind blast people, and then they die. I mean, it's like every other game. If you break it down and boil it down to that, like in Call of Duty, you shoot people and then they die, or you do this and then they die. But you get what I mean by an engaging loot. In Call of Duty, it's more of a your skill versus another person's skill, or you get what I mean. In this game, the AI is kind of like, like they're not really that good. So it's kind of really easy. And I was playing the game and I was getting tired of the combat load. I remember getting really drowsy playing and like wanting to go to fucking sleep. So yeah, there's that. There's actually like a patch system in the game where you can put like different patches on your powers, and they allow your powers to have alternate or even whole new effects. But again, you can just punch and blast your way to victory, so it doesn't really matter. Upgrades are also a part of the game, but are mostly unneeded, except the ones for exploration, in my opinion, as they help you get more upgrades. So basically, once you upgrade your powers to give you more movement, like I upgraded the boring powers first, like the ones that get my levitation ball and my fucking mental connection. However, combat is not the only form of gameplay. The other half is exploration. And that shit is a 10 out of 10 on this shit. On this fucking game, the exploration is a 10 out of 10. The side powers mixed with the parkour, acrobat mixed with the scenery make a delicious 5-course meal ready for your brain to digest. This is actual food for thought, nigga. Your eyes will be constantly looking for higher and higher pathways to reach bigger and better collectibles. Your fucking ears will always be listening out for the emotional baggage crying around every fucking corner. Your hands never get bored of actually hitting the B button and doing the roll, jump, dive, and then hitting the levitation ball, and then clicking your different little side abilities. All of it, the gameplay loop for exploration, 10 out of 10. Really good, really engaging. I actually had most of my fun playing the game when I was actually just exploring the scenery in the world. I just wish the combat was as engaging as the exploration. So, yeah, there's that. So the story. So now moving away from gameplay elements, the story is just as good, if not better, than the exploration loop. So the fact that you're thrown into the game is kind of bandaged by them having a recap of the previous title for folks like me who never played the first title. Again, it's only 10 hours, but the story is kind of like Inception. You get what I mean? But instead of entering people's dreams, you enter their mind, going on trip after trip, exploring the unconscious mind. The story leads to some great plot twists at the end and also kept me engaged enough to not fall asleep like some sections of the game. Cough, cough, combat. However, one thing I can say about the story is it can help people deal with everyday anxiety. So, for example, you have enemies called like bad moods or panic attacks, and the game does a unique job at telling you how to beat them by saying like, just breathe, or I need to find out what's causing this bad mood, which can help somebody in a tight mind in real life in the moment. And shit like that is always good in my book. I love when games help people get through their shit, help people get through their mental problems, emotional problems, even physical fucking problems. I mean, how does a game help you get through physical problems? Wouldn't games just make you fatter? I don't know what your physical problems are. But yeah, this game really good at helping you with dealing with your shit. Now moving on to voice acting and writing. Now the writing in the game, phenomenal. I'm talking puns, plays on words, how the enemies are actual things everyday people deal with. Fuck, they even have Jack Black singing a song in the fucking game.
Molecule through my cosmic eye.
And they also had Brutal Legend. So yeah, Jack Black was the main character in Brutal Legend. So he probably gave him, a favor or whatever and just did this song and voice act this character. However, the voice actors killed it. The game has my favorite voice actor of all time. Yes, Invader Zim. So and that's Raz, if you didn't know. So his wackiness and personality just breathed on a fucking game like this. The other Joe Schmoes did okay, I guess, but Raz and Cruller's voice actors put in that fucking overtime, nigga.
Because I'd never forget her.
Where? Where did you hide her?
She's with family.
Okay, moving on to critiques, and the way we do critiques over here is we actually try to give constructive criticism and tell them what they could probably do to improve or give an idea or two. So the only real issues I have with the game are combat and how short it is. The story bits I kind of got over, but the combat had me wanting to play another game, and that's a big no-no. They can improve the combat to me by making it more engaging or even trying their hand at a turn-based combat with this game. So I'd actually be interested to see how some of the psi abilities can be used as status elements, like putting your opponent in a bad mood, causing him to fight like his teammates and shit, like how they do in Persona. So in Persona, you can rage somebody with your psi persona, and they'll go and attack their teammates, or you can fear them and all type of shit. So I would actually like to see, you could probably have them do induce a panic attack on a target, and then he'll fear. He's so fearful that he won't even actually attack you. So there's actually that can be a little idea that they can try their hand in. But and how short it is, I mean, I guess you could fix that by, instead of just padding out more and more collectibles, just make you go through other people's brains. I mean, I know that might be hard, but or you can even freshen it up, because you go through, like I said, you go through the same guy's brain 4 different fucking times. So it's kind of like redundant, and you don't, you want to see other people's brains and how other people look at the world, but you go through Fort Cruller's brain like 4 different times. So yeah, there's that. And now we get to the spoiler section, and actually, since the game is so short, I won't be spoiling the game. Just know the beginning intro makes way more sense when you actually beat the game and find out about the egg and the ocean and all that other jazz. But yeah, if you're interested in the game, go check it out. So the little intro scene that I said, put in the intro was well, you put the egg in a basket and the old eggs in a box in the ocean. But you find out exactly what the fuck that means and who that guy is. That shit is actually pretty dope at the end where you figure that shit out. But then they don't tell you how it relates to the beginning scene. You gotta kind of piece that together. And I always like shit like that. So my final verdict, my final score on this lost, wacky planet that I was stranded on until I dug deep into the darkest pits of myself and beat my internal Maligula, is a 7 out of 10. Another above average game in 2021. Surprise, surprise. Psychonauts can be a 10 out of 10 if the game was longer and had more engaging combat, but that combat for me kind of killed some points off the board. Sorry, Double Fine. I'm sorry, Invader Zim. I'm sorry. Hopefully they don't take 15 years to make another one, or 16 years, and they strike while the iron is high and try their hand at some fucking DLC or a spin-off title, like knowing what the fuck all your classmates were doing as you're saving the fucking world. Like, hello, what are you all doing, nigga? Are you? There's no class, so where are you? Why are you not helping me save the fucking world again? But anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this review. This Wolf Invades. I had a blast on this fucking planet, or this brain, whatever the fuck I invaded. I had a good time. Again, the combat made me a little sleepy, but the exploration woke my eyes right back up. So if you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button to show the Wolfpack some love. Subscribe to join the alien invasion. I hope you guys stay good and awesome. Shout out my wolves and my Martians. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. And peace, my nigga. Peace.
You already know. You already fucking know. You know what the fuck going on, nigga. I'm out here, bitch. Get out my head.